Next up, after discussing all of the problems that AI-written songs have caused for the music industry and human songwriters, we finally start talking about solutions. Hey everyone, I'm Charles Dominick, the CEO of Clyde, the Council of Legal Education Innovators and Developers. Welcome back to part 5 of our 6-part series on protecting the art and business of human songwriting from an AI apocalypse. In the last 2 episodes, I introduced you to several of the challenges, threats, and problems associated with AI-written songs. In this episode, we will start covering some of the solutions. Let's do it. AI music has arrived, is gaining in use, is rising up the charts, and is withstanding legal challenges, leaving many to wonder if we are in an apocalypse for the art and business of human songwriting. If you think about it, there are only so many ears and so many minutes available to fill those ears with music. With the potential for a virtually unlimited production capacity of supply and natural limits on demand, the supply side in such a market will invariably suffer. That being said, there are also signs that the world is beginning and will continue to push back against AI music, to verbally reject it, to ostracize it. For example, terrestrial radio giant iHeartMedia took an internal stand against playing AI music. Bandcamp, a beloved site for artists to sell downloads of their music, recently announced that it does not permit music that is, quote, generated wholly or in substantial part by AI, end quote, and encouraged the use of its reporting tools if any such music is encountered. And a growing swath of society tends to have a distaste for AI in general, for reasons ranging from its environmental effects to its potential to erode critical thinking skills on a mass level. Fortunately, there are myriad potential legal, commercial, and societal responses to an AI takeover of songwriting. If the world is resistant to AI causing an apocalypse for the art and business of human songwriting, then the core of almost any solution to this apocalypse is the identification of AI music. It's difficult to discern which songs use AI, how much they are using, and even if a song is recorded by actual humans, if that song was composed using AI. In the following subsections of this video and the next, I discuss ways to overcome the identification hurdle and other solutions so as to throw a lifeline to the art and business of human songwriting. Because it is becoming increasingly difficult to know whether or not a song was AI generated just by listening to it, society will have to lean on technology. One idea for harnessing technology to wrestle with generative AI is to have a centralized database that catalogs all AI-generated songs. At first blush, the creation of a centralized database that catalogs all AI-generated songs seems like way too ambitious of a goal, but there is evidence that it is possible. There is even an example in the music industry that illustrates the feasibility of cataloging hundreds of millions of songs. GraceNote. GraceNote is a company that has been at the forefront of music recognition technology ever since 1998, when they developed a method of enabling computer compact disc players to connect to an online database to identify information about the CD, artist name, album name, song titles, etc. Today, GraceNote's database and audio fingerprinting technology have been adapted for a mid-21st century music landscape, including additional metadata about each song, such as genre, era, origin, tempo, mood, and style. GraceNote's service manages millions of fingerprints as part of a comprehensive music metadata platform and is used in applications such as enabling streaming platforms to identify the music played through their channels to facilitate compliance with copyright law and ensure that royalty payments are accurately distributed to the appropriate parties. Giving music fans the ability to identify a song they are hearing, for example, via Shazam. enabling collection societies and publishers to monitor usage of the music for members and clients that they represent. Expanding Grace Note for AI identification seems like a small modification in the grand scheme of things. If one thinks of Grace Note's database in information technology terms as a series of records where each song represents a record, and each record as a series of fields where each metadata category like song name, artist name, and style is a field, then the question AI generated would merely be one more field to be included for each song. That doesn't sound impossible. Given Grace Note's dominance in the industry, one could speculate that their disinterest in participating in this type of tracking could kill the idea. But Grace Note should not be thought of as the only possible option. Grace Note is not exactly a unicorn. Other industries have created voluminous databases to track digital content. There are technologies used by web platforms to vet undesirable content that could be similarly applied to AI music. For example, web platforms that host user-uploaded content have a variety of technology tools available to identify objectionable content so that it does not get proliferated on their platforms. These technologies assign a hash, or unique digital fingerprint, to media files containing the offending content, store those hashes in a database, allow platforms to use an automated application programming interface, or API, to instantly determine if uploaded content matches offending content in the database, and to flag the content so that it is not distributed. There are multiple providers of this technology, including Microsoft and Google. To analogize and apply this approach to the music industry, each AI-created song could have a hash assigned to it, and those hashes could be stored in a database. Each time a song is uploaded to an online platform, that platform could use an API to determine if the song matches an AI song in the database. Though there are not any AI music surveillance systems in existence that rival the sophistication of the anti-objectionable content surveillance systems, there is an indication that at least one is forthcoming. The nascent idea of AI music surveillance technology was recently floated by an established music technology firm. Musicmatch, an Italy-based music data technology and services company, recently revealed its plans for an AI music surveillance system, though robust capabilities still seem a bit in the future. Musicmatch's new Sentinel service was announced on March 27, 2026, with a press release that claimed the service was a, quote, real-time music copyright detection service designed for generative AI platforms, end quote. The initial capabilities of the service include a check for AI-generated lyrics via an API call to a database of copyrighted lyrics. Recognizing the limited scope of this initial foray into the AI music surveillance space, Musicmatch acknowledged plans to, quote, extend Sentinel's capabilities beyond lyrics to support a wider gamut of copyright identification and rights management, end quote. No timeline or specifics were mentioned, but the venture presents itself as quite encouraging. Musicmatch's vision seems the most specific, yet undeveloped. The objectionable content surveillance system seems the most robust, yet not focused on music. And Grace Note's entrenchment in the music industry seems the most primed for expansion into AI music surveillance. Just from these three examples, it is clear that cataloging AI music is absolutely feasible. The next question is what a streaming platform does with the song once it's known to be AI. Streaming platforms have begun feeling the aforementioned pushback against AI music. Spotify recently made an announcement that revealed how it's reacting to the pushback by planning to apply AI labels within its platform. In that September 25, 2025 announcement, Spotify acknowledged that music fans, quote, want more information about what they're listening to and the role of AI technology in the music they stream, end quote. The company went on to reveal that it is helping to develop, quote, the new industry standard for AI disclosures in music credits, end quote. And that will be implemented in the future. However, Spotify's announced approach seemed doomed to be ineffective based on its placement of the AI labels. It smells of a mindset to show them we're doing something so they don't force us to do something. A simple and an effective way to help music fans avoid feeling the ick of listening to AI-generated music is to conspicuously label AI-generated songs. For an example, an effective labeling approach would involve having an icon directly next to a song's title so that it is easily visible on a small smartphone screen while using a music streaming app. However, Spotify's announcement seems to suggest that any such disclosure would be in the credits for a song. Generally, the credits for a song include the songwriter or songwriters. Such credits are not easily accessed and are probably only seen a small fraction of the times that a song is streamed. For example, on Apple Music's smartphone app, one would have to click on the title of the song that is playing, click on the lyrics icon, and scroll to the bottom to see the credits. On Apple Music's desktop app, one would have to right-click on an ellipsis next to the song title that is playing, click on Get Info, and visually scroll through the dialog box to see the same credits. Those aren't exactly convenient ways to get an answer to a yes or no question like, is this song AI generated? And it turns a leisure experience into a tedious investigation of sorts, with conclusive answers not guaranteed. Additionally, the accuracy of Spotify's approach is subject to information provided by people seeking to serve self-interest. It relies on, quote, information submitted through labels, distributors, and music partners, end quote. And, quote, gives artists and right holders a way to clearly indicate where and how AI played a role in the creation of a track, end quote. If Spotify is relying on its sources of music to voluntarily disclose AI usage, something that their consumers may hate, how likely is it that labels, distributors, and music partners will volunteer the information necessary to make Spotify's labeling complete and accurate? So, early indications are that any platform-initiated voluntary labeling by streaming platforms is likely to be weak. Therefore, it likely will either take market pressure or a literal act of Congress to get streaming platforms to implement the type of clear, well-designed labeling system that could actually help audiences better understand the music to which they listen. Headwinds are showing that at least some consumers may potentially vote with their feet if their chosen streaming platform falls short of AI labeling expectations. The difficulty of AI labeling is likely a factor in streaming platforms' reluctance to roll out such a feature, but options are available that would make labeling easier. Cataloging AI-written songs and labeling AI-written songs are only two components of a multi-component solution to the threat that AI poses to the music industry. I will move on to more of the components of the solution in the next video. So be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Clyde channel so that you don't miss out on our exploration of protecting the art and business of human songwriting from an AI apocalypse. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.